Starting off this week with Mr. Danny Trout, putting the answer where the question is, or as Danny so perfectly puts it, making it make sense. So these are procedures for scanning things into production, both in English and Spanish. There's a gun right there. This is right where the work happens, where these carts are incoming into production. And before, they were about 15 feet away, where the finished product paperwork was. That doesn't make any sense. So put the answer where the question is, right there where you're doing the work. You've got all the procedures. Great job, Danny. Awesome improvement from Kevin in Windows Receiving, fixing what bugs him. So when scanning things in to ScanTrack, before at Beasley, pretty much anything that was scanned in with ScanTrack dumped into the same folder. And then so getting to the items that were yours versus what might be dispatches or millwork receiving or production, you had to sort through a bunch of that stuff, creating a lot of over processing. So Kevin got with IT, they separated the different folders so that when Kevin scans something, it goes straight to his department, Windows Receiving, and just eliminates all of that over processing. Lean is the art of subtraction, or in here, adding some folders so you don't have to sort through a bunch of stuff. Great job, Kevin. Corey with a great safety improvement here. This is the Magnum, the exterior line at Beasley, and that bar with the yellow squares marked on it, that is a bar that we have to switch out every so often for different sizes, different size stops that we need. And our little screw guns here would be hanging right in the way and might poke you in the eye or you bang your head on it. And so he just created a little hook to get it out of the way whenever he's changing those bars. Great safety improvement, Corey. This is awesome. Valente adding a location right there in the sweet spot at his station for black hinges. He ran out of room, didn't have a spot for it. I love the ingenuity here. Just build another shelf right below it, still right there in the sweet spot, right where you need it, and you don't have to leave and have a bunch of transportation waste. Great job. So the Windows takeoff process and all of the different places that the proper information and all those details need to be translated is complex. It's not simple. Would love to continue to make it simple, but one of the things that Mark Scannell and Team Supreme have done is to create a checklist so that after everything's done, there is a process to go back and double check all the important details and make sure they're right. We've been having defects there that we want to figure out a way to eliminate. I think checklists are huge in going to quality, well worth the time. I love that this is documented, Mark. Great job. Eric, thanks for posting. Sophia, I love this improvement. So we want to make it difficult to make a mistake. We want to make the process such that it's difficult to make a mistake. One of the things that Sophia found was when scheduling an item out of Beasley for delivery, but you actually want service to be the ones who take it and deliver it, there was room for confusion. And so she had a defect scenario where one of her items got grabbed by Michael and his team in dispatch, just trying to do a good job, and it got delivered when she actually wanted service to deliver it. Stop and fix. She got with IT. They got a vehicle type added to account for that scenario to make it difficult now next time for that defect to happen. Awesome improvement, Sophia. Thank you. Another great one from the coordination team at Beasley. So one of the things that bugged them was getting access to the window vendor portals. There's a few different ones, and if you have someone new on your team or your customer base is moving to a different product, getting somebody access to the proper vendor portal was a pain. There just wasn't documentation on that or even who to contact. Now there is. So in their OneNote, they've got a list of all the vendor portals, the procedure to get access, and who you might need to contact if you have trouble. Awesome improvement. Getting the answer documented. Way to go, Eric. Great one from Travis and the warehouse team at Beasley. So this is Area 15 at Beasley. It's the southeast corner of the warehouse, and there used to be cantilever racking right there. And that was for material coming in from the receiving door right here. That's a lot of excess transportation, a lot of wasted transportation. So they moved the racks right here. We had some space freed up that didn't have a real value-added use. Moved those cantilever racks, eliminating tons of transportation waste. Awesome improvement, guys. I love it. Mike in the warehouse at Beasley identified a quality concern. We need to use corner protectors when bundling trim so we don't mess anything up with the strap, and use your head, not your wallet. These corner covers come in with product that we already order, so we can just reuse it, cut it down into little strips that makes it super usable for us. Awesome improvement, Mike. Way to go. Juan got safety checklists posted in English and Spanish in his area if he's working with a torch or if he's welding. Any hot work procedures, he's got those posted. Great job, Juan. Awesome. So I love it when a good idea grows. This idea seems to be growing. Thank you, Gus. I think Gentry was involved in this idea as well. So we want to make things easy to do it the right way, right? We want the process to be easy. And so what we found was when getting things into production, we were struggling with the defect of those items not getting scanned into production. They got to get scanned out of the warehouse and scanned into production. So these are barcodes for the dedicated location of these hinges, so that you can scan them out of their warehouse dedicated location. If you've already grabbed them, you've got them in your hand, you didn't have a gun on you, whatever, all of that's probably processes that should be improved. But Gus made it easy on the guys here and just brought that dedicated location right to where they're going to be bringing the product so they can easily scan it out of the warehouse into production, preventing a defect. Way to go, Gus. Thank you, Lloyd, for this one. So something that we found out in service and install is that sometimes when we install a slider, after we are done, different trades are coming in and they're taking it upon themselves to fill the weep holes of that product with caulk or silicone, and that's no good. That creates a defect that's going to impact the customer. It's a quality issue. And so Lloyd had the idea to create these little labels to put on the weep holes that ask them not to fill those. So even though this is after we've installed it and done a good job and we can document that, we still don't want that defect happening for the customer and the quality issues that ensue. So giving other trades a fighting chance of getting it right. Great job, Lloyd. Another great improvement from service and install. Thank you, Colin, for this one. So we take a lot of pictures of services and installs done well. And one of the things that Colin found out, there was a ton of overprocessing because those were coming in standard iPhone file, HIEC, I think. And that you have to download each picture to view it, creating massive amounts of overprocessing. So converting those to JPEGs, they just immediately load inside of Freshdesk. Huge win. Way to go, Colin. Ryan creating a standard location for broom and dustpan in his area of the warehouse. This is an idea that's continuing to grow around Husky, and we need it to. Great job, Ryan. We want to be able to treat mistakes like gold and address problems at their root. And one of the things that was creating some confusion is the truss plant runs 2 shifts. And so when picking teams are picking and there's a defect, it was hard to identify where that defect came from, who needs the adequate training. And so they split the color of the spray paint that they're using to spray the batch number on the picked items for red and black to identify the different shifts so that if there's an issue, we can go straight to the source and retrain. JC with a great improvement here. So multi-family buildings in the truss plant would create some confusion and some overprocessing. So we label them by building, but we break them out and build them by unit. And so previously they were just labeled by building instead of uniquely by unit. Now got with IT, got them labeled uniquely by unit, eliminating a lot of overprocessing. Thanks, JC. Good idea spreading in panels. This is the component station for the exterior line. Dedicated location for the gun, little holster built right there. So instead of it just being on the table thrown around, eliminate all that wasted motion or having it in your way, and have a dedicated location right there so you always know where it is and eliminate a bunch of wasted motion. Great job, Corey. 3S'ing the compressor room at the plant. Here is the before. Yikes. Thank you, Omar, and the whole team for this one. Here's the after. So much better. Great job, guys. Let's keep up the 3S work. Tons of that happening at the plant. More 3S at the plant. Thank you, Davis, for this one. This is the designated smoking area, and it turned into kind of a junk collection point. So Mark and Davis, the guys, got after it over here and got that stuff cleaned up. Looking much better. Now let's hold this standard, guys. Thank you. Back over in the office in the plant, this is the paperwork, and you see the highlighting and things that had to happen. This is the process the way it used to be. Very manual, very time consuming. Meanwhile, people are waiting for paperwork, just taking tons and tons of time. Now, this printer sorts and highlights and staples everything exactly the way that we need it. Thank you, everyone involved, for making this happen. This saves the office and the plant a ton of time. Way to go. Thank you, Mark and Daryl, for this. So putting the answer where the question is, making sure our pre-walkers and installers have the right information. This is all of the rough openings for the Windsor product, which is relatively new for us. And that was identified as an area for improvement because we were having issues there, and the answer was not where the question was and created a lot of waste. So now we've got all of those answers, going to get that easily accessible by our pre-walkers, by our installers, to eliminate a ton of waste. Thank you, guys. So I think for this week, I'll end on how do we make the process to where it's difficult to make a mistake. Mark, I love your checklist related to the takeoff and ordering process for Windows. Going back through your checklist to make sure you get all of the details right is just huge. That type of double check, simple checklist model applies all over the place and can eliminate tons of defects. Everybody have a great week.